Hello.
Hello. Today we, let me think how I want to say this. Need the notebook. Today we just want to talk about how we do it. So we were thinking originally when we wanted to do RV life, we're thinking, yeah, we're gonna have no mortgage, it's gonna be so cheap, and feeling a little bit like that was wrong.
We had a decent idea that, well, we're going to be paying a pad rental. We're not going to be boondocking right away. I'm still working full time, so we have to stay in the city fairly close to where I work. Somebody was lucky enough to retire, but
Yeah.
well, that also comes with a price that she doesn't have a full-time paycheck anymore like she used to.
So there was a lot of stuff that we purchased after we paid for the trailer and paid for the truck that we didn't necessarily realize that we needed to. I have started an Excel spreadsheet and I have been keeping track of all of the expenses in our first year. So we're not quite at the 1 year mark, and we'll report on that.
Well, we're a few months away.
Yeah, well, I'll report on that when after the date, and we'll do that. There were several things. I felt like Brent was getting packages from Amazon like every week. So there was
not every week, but at least once or twice a month for probably a good 3 or 4 months before we actually picked up the RV. I was basically just getting all the basics that I knew that we needed, such as pressure regulators, certain hoses, connectors, certain tools,
the big electrical
basics of RV life.
the big electrical thing that
The surge protector,
surge
yes.
protector.
That was a must. Couldn't find that anywhere.
Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff, and then we ended up moving all of our stuff into storage, and they raised the price on that, and just seeing that there was other people who have little storage trailers in the park, thinking that would be way better than having the storage out in Abbotsford, was where we were able to find a unit.
It was about a 45-minute drive to get to our U-Haul storage unit. They were charging, I think, about $95 a month to start for us.
Plus GST.
Plus GST. So
It was like $112 a month, and then they raised the price, and I don't remember what it
went
to.
up about $15 to $20 per month.
So we decided to purchase
A cargo trailer.
a cargo trailer, and
Aptly named Cooter.
Yeah, so then now it's right outside our back door, and we're actually saving
Well, we're saving roughly $35 per month on rent, although we had to buy the trailer. So
yeah,
we didn't save anything up
investment.
front. It's an investment for the future, of course.
Yeah. The other thing is that we discovered we needed things like dehumidifiers and
A space heater. Just all kinds of little things. Certain tools
so
or
added up.
air compressor. Lots of little things.
Yeah. So it all added up. But on that token, I mean, with me not working, I'm like, I'm just concerned about how much money is going out and making ends meet. But while at the same time, we're still able to go and enjoy things like Canucks games, which are not cheap. But the only reason we get to do that is because we were given or gifted tickets twice. Once for the Penguins, and more recently we went and saw the New York Rangers. So, but even then, it's still
It's still an expensive night out, even if the tickets are free.
Although with the Rangers, we did get the gift cards for dinner,
Yes, that is true.
and so we didn't spend as much at
Yeah, okay.
the Rogers Arena. Okay, we're on our way into Rogers Arena for our Canucks game. Nuts versus Rangers.
Celebrate the boys of 94. How loud we got them. Let's do it all again tonight. And turn 6 straight wins into 7 for your
I've been looking online just how can I use some of my past marketing skills to do a little bit of get a little extra income coming in so we can save up for some of our trips that we want to go on in the future.
If anybody has any ideas for her, throw them out there.
I've done some odd jobs. I actually worked at the election, so that was kind of interesting.
At a polling booth, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Yeah, and then once in a while I help out my niece and take care of her little guy. For my sister usually does it. So when my sister needs a break and she's going out, then I helped her out.
But also on another note, back to when we bought all kinds of tools and hoses and connectors and all that sort of stuff for the RV. Those are basically one-time purchases.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff will not wear out. Over time, you might get a crack in something here or there, and you'll replace it then. The initial expense of throwing about, let's say, $500 to $1,500 just at additional things for the RV. That's probably a good startup price. Anybody that gets a new RV and hasn't had an RV before will be spending something in that range.
So just those of you who are newbies, buying the trailer is one big expense, but then there's all the other things that go along with the functioning of the trailer that you have to include as well.
Propane is a huge expense.
Yeah. Well, that's just operating. And
Yeah, well, that's a learning curve as well, because electricity is less than propane, so we've got the fireplace and the space heater. We're only on a 30 amp circuit, so we can only run one of them at a time.
we can only heat one
So
room
if
at
we're
a
in the
time.
living room, we got the fireplace. If we're in the bedroom, we have the ceramic heater.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's all a learning curve. We just have a little ways to go, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's probably going to be some more things that we're going to, oh, that would be a great idea. But then there are some things, like we bought the sliding rack to go in the bottom of the
Go
cabinet.
for the bottom of the pantry, yeah.
Yeah, so we bought that. That's not really a necessity, but it's keeps the dishes up off the floor.
We were, as you may have watched in some of our previous videos, we had some condensation and mold issues, which we pretty much have taken care of those.
Yeah.
I haven't found any in probably 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah, so I mean,
so everything's
that, we
going
need to
along.
stay on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that rack, which we will show you, it just gets things up off the floor, and because there's a gap under the door, we have Wrigley's fur that tends to get in and everything, and I find it in all kinds of strange places. So yeah, and it makes it easier for me to stick the vacuum in there and. Okay.
Okay, well, as promised, this is the storage rack, sliding rack that I'm going to show you how to install in the bottom of the pantry. All it is, you've got your sliding rack, your arms slide in and out on each side. So this goes straight into the wall, on the floor of course. That sits on top, and your sliding rack will come out as you need it. So you just basically have to put it in, measure up, line it up so once you put the rack on, it will make sure that it's cleared on both sides. So that way you can center the rack, or the flooring rack. Once that's in, all you do is, with your Phillips screwdriver, on a drill of course, basically attach the base to the floor. And once the base is attached, there's only one way to put it in. Sliders only go in one direction on it, so that's fairly easy. It's well marked. Once that's in, you mount this on the top of it. 4 screws to attach that, and the whole thing will slide in and out. Real easy. One thing I do recommend is anything that you're putting into the floor, any screws, put a dab of silicone on them. If you don't have silicone and you've got some Flex Seal, a little spray of that will help. Just so no moisture can get inside the wood that's in under the lino here. And when we come back, I'll show you how it is looking when it's all finished. I've installed the sliding tray. Very easy install. 8 screws in total, 4 of them into the floor, and the other 4 hold the rack to the base. Slides in and out. That's as far out as it will come. So we're about 3 inches past the edge of the slide threshold here. It's just a convenient thing, so we don't have our cooking pots and pans sitting on the basically on the floor, and any dog dander or moisture buildup, so we don't have to wash our dishes before we cook with them. So one other thing I will point out, this little lip on the edge of the slide, I had to take a saw and just cut out a tiny piece of trim there, tiny piece of trim there. Otherwise, that's as far as it'll go. That extra few inches might help. And I just colored that in, a little bit of black felt pen to make it look good. So all you need, screwdriver, with a drill would help, but not necessary. And that's it. All done.
Well, I was busy editing the video, getting it ready to send out this week, and I kind of noticed that I felt like there was some information missing, so I just wanted to sort of add in a little piece that I thought was good information. So Brent had showed you the tray that he put in the cupboard, and I just wanted to share with you. Oh my goodness, going down. I just wanted to share with you what this tray holds. It holds quite a lot. So we have some bowls, some metal bowls that are original mixing bowls. We have our big roasting pan that fits perfectly in the oven, a wok, another plastic bowl, and dog treats. So it actually, oops, I popped the lid open. It actually holds quite a lot of stuff. So, and then it just slides, and then back in there. And there's even a big frying pan back there. The other thing I wanted to talk about was our discussion on what it costs to get into an RV. The initial expense is usually the big one. And then if you're doing a trailer, you have your tow vehicle, which is going to be another big one. So you got those big expenses right up front. And then there's like a ton of little things that aren't obvious. So I know to me it wasn't obvious that we needed, 2 sections of hose, or a hose for the black tank to rinse the black tank, and a hose to rinse or for fresh water. So well, why do we need 2 hoses again? They do the same job. So I understand why now, but initially I was like, well, why are we spending all this money? So just if you're a newbie and you're going into this, just be aware that there's a lot of little unforeseen costs that may not necessarily, like the tray, we didn't really need the tray. It just makes life a little bit, living in an RV, a little bit easier. It just adds on. We have the ability to have a washer and dryer, or a combo unit inside of our trailer. But we haven't got it yet, just because we can do laundry other ways. So just be aware. You may change some of the things that we did. You may not see those as being, you know, as a valuable asset to your trailer. But we felt that they were. So initial expenses, the big ones are the purchase of your RV, and then from there, it's up to you whether you need it, or is it going to make your life easier to have in the RV. So I just wanted to share with you how miserable of a day. Perfect day for editing videos. It is literally downpouring. It's awful out there. I'm so glad I took the dogs for a walk yesterday. We went to the dog park and Wrigley had a really good run. But now they're just happy. Oh, Maddie's comfy on my chair. Maddie, you don't get to stay there. Yeah, you're gonna have to get out pretty soon. So yeah, just to kind of a buyer beware kind of note. I mean, RVing, I wouldn't give it up at all. No way. It's been a blast. We haven't even been doing it for a year, and we haven't gotten in all the kind of traveling we kind of thought we would do right away, but we're getting there. It's, you know, we're working on our plans for this summer, and when Brent can take some time off. But in the meantime, here we are. It is what you make it, right? It's like spending money on things you need for your house. It's like, do I need that, or is it just going to make life simpler? You know, you be the judge of your own budget. That's all we sort of wanted to talk about today, was just to, you know, how we're doing it and how we, all our extra expenses that we hadn't initially thought of. And
If you have some money-saving techniques or tips, put them in the comments down below. And everything's worth considering.
yeah, you bet. And yeah, so that's all we wanted to chat about today. And we will see you next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Give us a thumbs up and ring that bell for notifications.
As you can hear, it's pouring right there. And we have a moat around our trailer. It's really, really wet outside.